welcome to this week's Week Ahead from the Maine State Chamber of Commerce. It's just Peter and I today. Linda is not with us, but it's been a busy week in the legislature so far. In the natural resource area, they've dealt with bills dealing with a polystyrene ban, LD 468. This is a significant bill. Would ban all polystyrene in the state of Maine. This has to do your coffee cup you get at Dunkin' Donuts, the lid on the coffee cup, plastic utensils for our fishing industry, the containers that we ship lobsters overseas with. This piece of legislation would ban all polystyrene, make Maine first in the nation. Very bad legislation. They're dealing with that bill. Also natural resources, they're dealing with a bill having to do with the NRPA, the Natural Resource Protection Act, an exemption to allow some expansion, some redevelopments. LD 395 has to do with grandfathering some stormwater permits. It would help encouraging development, some specific projects around the state. So they're getting up, they're getting busy. Education actually has a busy week this week. Their budgets before the Appropriations Committee. We did testify in support of one portion of that budget, have to do with early childhood education based on our Making Maine Work report. The fact is only about 42% of the students in the state of Maine have pre-K available to them. It's a huge unmet need, 58%. The statistics are staggering in terms of when kids receive that. So that was an important bill. So the things are really starting to get heated in the legislature. The bills are coming fast and furious. I know in your area
Elkridge had a busy week. I did notice when I checked the website last night, we're up into approaching the 800s in bills. Yeah. So that's a more reasonable number that we would expect to see for this time of year. Elkridge had a full day yesterday, but we testified on two bills. One deals with cash out of sick time, and the other bill deals with breaks in small businesses. Both bills would cause problems for employers. The whole issue of overregulation, not letting employers manage their businesses the way they think is best. And in terms of the break bill for small businesses, there are just some instances where it's impossible for employers to give the kind of 30-minute break that's required, particularly when there's only one person working at a time. And this bill sought to mandate that break. It literally means the small business has to close their doors for 30 minutes.
So it has so much for supporting small businesses in the state of Maine.
Exactly, and that it doesn't work. I mean, theoretically, businesses and employees in that situation, they work it out. Yeah. So mandating that the business deliver on the break promise regardless of the situation is the work situation of that given day, it's really tough. They also have work sessions this week on two workers' comp bills that we testified on last week. We opposed both of those bills. One deals with volunteer firefighters and how they're covered when they're at the place of business or when they leave from home. And the other bill deals with the ability of employer to talk with an injured worker about their case and impediments this bill seeks to impose on that ability to have an open dialogue. The committee's expect to deal with both bills on Thursday. The one bill they didn't deal with, they put off, was the call center bill. They expect to have that come up in the next week or so. They did deal with the abusive work environment bill last week. That was changed into a study, but the committee wasn't clear on who's going to do the study, the Comp Board or the Department of Labor, and in either case, they didn't give them staff or resources to conduct a study on the issue. So the committee divided along party lines, not surprisingly, on that issue. It is a busy time. I know Linda is not here, but if she was, she'd say, I testified on tax haven, against tax haven.
Very big piece of legislation. Yeah. Impacts a lot of businesses in terms of being another first in the nation type bill in terms of tax havens. Basically, if you do business in a list of certain countries, then it's just an assumption that you are there for a tax haven.
Sheltering money.
It's not for a business purpose. So very bad piece of legislation. We not only hear from local people, we hear from companies all across the country that would be impacted by this. So it's a very big bill.
And it's a bill that's it's been working its way through the states. A couple of states had acted on it, but the vast majority of states have rejected it. It was passed last year. The governor ended up vetoing the bill. I don't think it'll get that far this year, but there was a public hearing on it. We were there yesterday. And I believe she has work sessions this week on the same issues. Yeah. So really picked up speed, really picked up steam on the legislative process. They're meeting 3 days a week starting this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But the committees are working all the time now.
Yeah.
Some are meeting up to 4 times a week, so they have to get caught up, so.
Hey, one other issue I'd just like to highlight, remind people, Friday, April 3rd is our first ever Main Chamber Energy Summit, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's a very good agenda. Go to our website, check it out, but if you're involved in energy, even remotely in the state of Maine, this is going to be the event to go to. Lot of good presenters and a lot of good discussions at that event. So Friday, April 3rd, 8 to 1, put it on your calendar, go to the website, sign up.
And it's free, right?
And it's a free event, absolutely, free to Maine's business community.
Outstanding. That's it for this week's edition of The Week Ahead. We look forward to talking with you next week. Take care.
Stay classy, Maine.